Hey, good morning. Welcome to the first almost full week of school. It's the September 8th through the 11th. We're starting our first unit. The unit's called 13 Colonies and Searching for Utopia. The idea behind it is we're going to learn about some background about the original 13 colonies, and how that ties in with the idea of utopia, and utopia, we'll explore the concept of that a little bit. You've probably read some dystopian novels and seen some dystopian movies where things are all terrible. Utopia is the opposite of that, like everything's a wonderful place to live and that sort of thing. Um, which, if you think about the colonists who came over from Europe to settle America, that's kind of what they were searching for, is a new place where they could live with their ideals and their beliefs, and have everything just the way they wanted. So we'll kind of explore the history and how that ties in with this idea of searching for utopia. We have some activities that we're going to do. We're going to start off this week with I need to collect a writing sample so I can kind of see where you are in your writing process. And it's going to be the right here. It's going to be the idea of a 5-paragraph essay, and you need to include support for your argument with evidence. So basically, whatever you're saying, you need to support it with ideas from other places. I supplied you with a couple of articles, writing samples. You can use books that you've read, movies, that sort of thing. It's not a super formal thing, but I just need to kind of see where you're at. So the topic is, to what extent can a perfect or ideal society exist? So kind of starting to think about that idea of a utopian society and what it might look like, and if it's even possible. We are also going to be looking at, in the history side of things, like I talked about, the 13 colonies. And something important to think about the 13 colonies is they established the 13 colonies, the future states. They were created before there was even a central government. So think about that. They didn't have a government. They just came over and they established these colonies, and kind of gave power to the colonies in themselves, instead of a big governing body that takes care of all 13 colonies, like we would think of the United States has the federal government, which takes care of all 50 states. But if you think about how things are now, there's this big push and pull between how much power do states have versus how much power does the federal government have. And that's probably brought on a lot because of when they were originally founded, the 13 colonies were controlling themselves, not a governing body that controlled all 13 together. So that's an interesting thing to think about. It also is interesting in the fact that because each colony was, they were similar in many ways, but they had so many differences, because they established themselves based on their own beliefs. So that's something that we'll look at and kind of explore a little bit. Kind of interesting. For the social studies side of things this week, so we're going to do that writing sample for language arts. For the social studies side of things, I have a PDF of a textbook from a chapter that I'm going to have you read and take notes for some background. I'll provide some little mini lessons to support that and that sort of thing. But it's all in your social studies modules, your module in Canvas. I do want to talk about this real quick. I provided, and this will happen every single week. Let me find it. This choice board that I talked about, this is for both classes, if you will. I'm going to treat them all as a single 2-hour block of core 8. But you'll have, this video will be linked here. Evidence of learning. So these are required things. So the quick writes we're going to do, and this Creating America doc, this is for the social studies. This is the assignment I talked about. These are resources that you have available to you. This is required. This is the student writing sample that I talked about, that 5-paragraph essay. And then at the end of the week, we're going to do a Flipgrid reflection video. If You probably use Flipgrid. If you haven't, I'll walk you through it. Super easy. But you also have some resources on here. The slide deck that I'll go through is on here for you. We have the weekly checklist, text resources, how-tos for citing evidence, and all that sort of thing. So that's the choice board. You also have on here in each module a unit calendar, and this is the calendar for the whole unit. And it's kind of being built as I fly. You can see I got week 1 done. There's nothing really here clickable for you. It's mostly just information as to what we're going to be doing, what we're looking at, what the schedule is, that sort of thing. So again, just another resource for you to help you. All right, so with that, that's kind of the introduction to the unit, to this week. And I look forward to working with you and having fun throughout the unit. The week, I've got a cool thing planned for the next couple weeks, which I think you're going to dig. So looking forward to that. All right, I'll see you guys soon.